and you are watching Morning Coffee. I would like to welcome our next guest this morning. It's Lee Whitaker, and he is a singer-songwriter, and we're going to be speaking to him about his brand new release, Alabaster Jar, and this is the latest CD from Lee. Lee told me that his song Lord I Need a Miracle, which is from Alabaster Jar, was on the charts, or still on the charts, and it's been 32 weeks now.
32 weeks
32
in the top
weeks
10.
In the top 10, and in
Yes.
February, was it a number one?
For 4 weeks.
For 4 weeks, number one. That's
Right.
pretty amazing.
Yes.
And the second single, Lord of Everything, is also in the top 5.
It's in
right?
the top 5, and it was amazing because when we released it, that next week, it went immediately to number 5, which is incredible. I couldn't believe it. Then it went to 3, 2, and then it hit number 1.
Wow, that is so exciting. And these
June.
is it the National Airplay chart? What chart is
The
this?
National Airplay Top 50 Gospel Chart.
Gospel chart.
Most of the stations are online stations, though there are a few terrestrial that are playing it too.
Well,
So,
that's congratulations. That's exciting.
Thank
to have
you.
2 releases, 2 singles from 1 CD to be in the top.
Number 1.
Yeah, number 1.
Within actually a month and a half.
Yeah, that's really great. Congratulations.
I'm on cloud 9.
I know, I would be too. Lee, I know you have a very interesting story to tell about your journey, what actually brought you to now. So can you fill us in a little bit?
Okay.
I'm especially interested in your self-promotion trip that you took overseas.
The European tour?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me back up a few years
go right ahead.
from that.
Sure.
Alan Toussaint, a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame guy, excellent producer,
Yes.
horn arranger. He heard some of my songs, and actually I was writing with Guy Scott and myself were writing, and he heard some of them, and he gave me a call, and I was like flabbergasted.
Wow.
And he said, I'd like to record some of those songs on an artist that I'm producing in New Orleans, because that's his home base.
Yes.
And I said, sure, that would be fantastic. And he said, I'm going to be up in Philly. I'm headlining the Jambalaya Festival in Philadelphia.
River.
Yes. And with Dr. John and all those great acts, U.S. Air flew everybody up.
Yeah.
And I said, I live near there. I'm a Philly guy.
Sure.
So could I meet you? He said, sure. And I went over and I met him. And that's a funny story about meeting him, but that would take too long for this show.
Okay.
But I met him, and we're sitting in a trailer, and there were all these trailers, and the Preservation Hall jazz band was there.
They were great. Oh my gosh, they're awesome.
And some of these guys were the originals. There was a guy, I don't know, he was like late 80s, I think maybe 90s. He was quite old. He was in this group, and I was just in awe. And I met his wife, and I'm sitting there very, very nervous because I'm in the presence of Alan Toussaint.
Right.
And
all these other legendary performers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's hot. It's Philadelphia, but it's not New Orleans hot.
No.
And I was so nervous that I said, what do you talk about when you're nervous? The weather.
Right.
So I said to him, it's really hot. And he goes, no, it's not. So that's how we started out.
Right.
But anyway, in talking to him, he said, where are you playing? And I said, I really haven't been playing out that much. And he said, you should. Well, that started a kernel in my mind about playing out. Then a short time later, I met this Scottish guy who was staying at my house along with a bunch of other guys. And they were in college. And he said, what's that? I said, that's my guitar. And he said, do you have any music? And I let him hear some demos and some things. And he said, you really should be out there playing. And those 2 things really got me started. And I wasn't a young guy when this happened. It was a few years ago. So I started playing, and with Alan Toussaint's encouragement and Derek Lambie, I started playing. And that started that journey. I recorded a country album. And
that's how I know you. I know you from country.
Yes. And I was at a Philly songwriters meeting one night, and somebody said, what are you going to do with that new album? I said, I don't have a clue. And he said, well, put it on.
I just recorded it. I don't know what to do
I
with
really
it.
do. I said, the problem is I'm teaching full time, and I don't play out all that much.
Right.
And he says, well, put it on CD Baby. And I said, there's like 10,000. It's like iTunes. I'm like, there's hundreds of thousands.
It will be lost.
It will be lost. And he said, just do it, like the commercial.
Right.
So
And you did.
I did. And that first week, it was featured along with other country albums.
Like they do.
Yes. And then it goes down day after
Right.
day, and then you see it disappear.
Yes.
And then you're part of the 100,000 million.
Right, you're just in there with everything else.
Right. So a DJ from Sweden heard it that first week, and he sent me this wonderful email. In fact, I broke down and cried. He said, you know, I'm playing Johnny Cash, and I'm playing Kenny Chesney, I'm playing this one and that one.
And I'm playing Lee Whitaker.
Yes, and he said, I will play you. And I thought, oh, wow. So I thought, that was easy.
Yeah.
And he said, send me a copy. And I sent him a copy. And this was probably about 10 years ago, I guess.
Right.
And
you had to send him a physical copy, right?
A physical
not
copy.
Not a digital file.
No, not a digital file.
Right.
And he started playing it. It was in rotation, and I saw he sent me the playlist, and they'd be playing all these famous people, and then Lee Whitaker would be stuck in there. And that was such a thrill. And I prayed about it, and I said, Lord, I don't think any of these other DJs around are going to see me,
right.
you know, because it's buried in there. And I got the idea, or God gave me the idea of Googling his name, Lars Lundberg in Sweden, and his name came up in all these websites.
Oh.
And
music websites.
Music websites, independent country guys, most of them from this country, who are getting played in Europe.
Interesting.
But along with thanking Lars Lundberg, all these other DJs were listed there from Australia and Sweden and Belgium and Germany. And I thought, well, if Lars is playing me in Sweden, maybe these other guys would.
Right, smart.
I would get home from school every day at 4 o'clock, go up to my room, studio, and I would get on the computer and I would start emailing all of these dozens and dozens of DJs around the world. And I just simply told them, I'm getting a lot of airplay in Sweden. I'm starving.
A lot.
And
promote that.
Yes. And would you like to give a listen? And I told them where they could listen. And if you like it, I'll send you a copy. And I made it. I won't send you a copy. I won't bug you unless you. And they all got back to me.
Wow.
And by Easter, I had like 40 stations. And then the next week it was
overseas now. This is not in the U.S.
Yes, it was.
And most of them were not speaking English, right?
Right.
They had to be translated. Some things had to be translated.
Well, most people I dealt with really spoke English, but when I did my European radio tour, I'll tell you about that. But anyway, I tried to do a regular tour over there. A couple DJs said they would help me. It got close to my summer break because I'm a teacher, and they independently wrote me and said, we've bitten off more than we can chew.
Yeah,
and I said,
that's a big undertaking.
Yes, yeah, to bring me over, and they hadn't done this before.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I'm going to do a radio tour. And I just got a map. I put some pins in it. And I thought, well, I can be in the Netherlands on this day, in Belgium this day, in Sweden this day, in Denmark that day. And I just started emailing, and we set up a European radio tour. I went over with my wife for a week. She came home, and then I went off.
By yourself, with your guitar.
My guitar on
Just
my
traveling.
back. Yes. And but
like
it was
a vagabond.
Yes.
Like a Bob Dylan vagabond, right?
That's right. An old vagabond. But I had it all set up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I was over there for almost a month.
Wow.
And
what an experience.
It was the greatest experience in my life.
And did they play your single?
Oh yeah.
Did, right?
It was In My Heart Is a Well, and I got massive airplay. I didn't go to Australia and New Zealand, but I got airplay over there and throughout Europe, from Denmark and Sweden all the way down. And I visited those stations.
Wow.
And it was a real joy.
I bet they treated you like royalty too, because you're coming over from the States, you're solo.
Yes. And they let me play like today,
Right.
And it was the most wonderful experience. I got home, before I left, I was at a DJ's house in Diest, and that's in Belgium. Or Netherlands. I think it was Belgium, but anyway,
right.
Yes. And he said, let's see if you're on the charts. And I said, what charts? And he says, well, we have charts
European
over here.
charts.
European charts. We have one in Germany. We have one in... He looked and he couldn't find me. And I said, oh, I'm getting airplay like for a month, everywhere.
Right.
So I went home to the States that next day. He gives me a call and said, Lee, check out the charts in the Netherlands.
Right.
I was number 1.
And you were there and you didn't even know.
No.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, hold that thought. We have to
Okay.
take a quick commercial break, and Lee will be back with some live music for us.
Great.
In a world where bankers have lost all interest, where robots and fat cats rule our fortunes, one woman
Hi.
will stand up and strive to do the impossible. Be treated like a person. Friends and neighbors will join her quest. Ordinary people will band together against the forces of corporate greed. And together they will form Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, already in a neighborhood near you.
Imagine the finest hand-selected USDA prime steak you'll ever have. The freshest line-caught seafood, our Wine Spectator award-winning wine list, and soul-satisfying desserts. Bring that together with the perfect date, the winning business deal, a memorable family celebration. Welcome to Rod's Steak and Seafood Grill in nearby Morristown, New Jersey. Bring your appetite and feed your passion.
Your credit score is yours, and at Experian Credit Expert, we want to help you really use it. With access to helpful Experian experts over the phone and online, we can help you use it to get a better idea of what info the banks have on you. Use it to get more choice of mortgages. Use it to make your money go further. Take the next step to improving your financial future with your free 30-day trial at experian.co.uk.
Here at Freppy's Tex-Mex, you can definitely taste the freshness in our food. You should definitely come to Freppy's because it's a great place. You can bring your family, very kid-friendly. All my servers are amazing, friendly people. Everyone here is just happy to serve, and I think it shows. The thing that sets us apart is the quality and freshness of our food. And I think once you try it, you'd be coming back. I'm Joe DeSario, co-owner of Freppy's Tex-Mex in Plainfield, New Jersey.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Hi, it's Lee Whitaker again. I'm going to start out by singing a song off of my Alabaster Jar album. It's called Lord of Everything. Lord of Everything was number 1 on the National Airplay Gospel charts this month. And after 1 week of being released, it jumped into the top 5 and then went to number 1. It's a story taken from the Bible. I hope you enjoy it. The rich ones brought their gifts to the temple hall. Some were impressed by the size of them all. Then 2 small copper coins were dropped in the plate. And Jesus said, "This gift I will celebrate." The rich would never miss what they gave today, but the poor widow, she gave it all away. Lord of everything, it makes the angels sing when you give it all to the Lord. Creator of the land and sea, He will provide your every need and lift you up upon His gentle wings. When He's your Lord of everything, He's my Lord of everything. They claim no ownership of their possessions. The believers were of one heart and mind. They sold their property and Giving your time and your talents too. A portion of what you make, He wants all of you. Lord of everything, it makes the angels sing when you give it all to the Lord. Creator of the land and sea, He will provide your every need and make you walk upon His gentle wing. When He's your Lord of everything, He's my Lord of everything. My Lord of everything, my Lord of everything. My Lord, yeah, He's my Lord. He's my Lord of everything. Yeah, yeah. My Lord of everything, my Lord of everything. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, that was Lord of Everything, and God really blessed me with that song because it went to #1. And I'd like to do another song that we released in July of this past year, and it jumped onto the charts a couple weeks after it was released. And the end of August, it jumped into the top 10, and it was in the top 10 for 32 weeks. And in February, it went to #1 for 4 weeks. A lot of people are relating to this song, Lord, I Need a Miracle, because of the content. And at one time or another, we do need God in our lives to help us through these difficult situations that we all go through. Maybe we're not going through a situation, but maybe our next door neighbor or a mom or a dad or a sibling. So it's a very poignant song that a lot of people have related to. And I feel blessed that, again, that God gave me this song. Got the news this morning. He cleared out his desk and went home. John tells his family he's lost the only job that he's known. Just down the road this morning, Mary stares in a daze. Her test came in, and the treatment begins right away. She doesn't know her neighbor, but the same words they pray. Lord, I need a miracle to help me make it through the day. Lord, I need a miracle, and you hear me when I pray. You raised a man from the dead and turned water into wine. You opened up a blind man's eyes. I hope I'm next in line. Lord, I need a miracle to help me make it through the day. When Bill woke up this morning, temptation called one more time. His body still craved the pills that were destroying his mind. I too need courage this morning, just to get out of bed. Since you take size. I hope I'm next in line. Lord, I need a miracle to help me make it through the day. I don't know where to begin. Should I confess my sin? I place my cares in your healing hands. Lord, will you lead the way? I promise to obey your commands. Lord, I need a miracle. Help me make it through the day. Lord, I need a miracle. And you hear me when I pray. Praise the man from the dead, turn water into wine. You opened up all blind man's eyes. I hope I'm next in line. Lord, I need a miracle to help me make it through the day. Lord, I need a miracle to help me make it through the day. Lord, I need a Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
For independent living for seniors age 62 and over, People Inc. offers safe, maintenance-free apartments across Western New York. The affordable rent is income-based. For more information, call People Inc. Senior Living at 817-9090.
Looking for a cooking oil with a light flavor and reduced absorption so food preserves its natural flavor? One with a high smoke point for stir-frying, sautéing, grilling, and baking? Then choose all-natural Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil, imported from France. Grapes have been a key ingredient of the healthy Mediterranean diet for years. Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil is the chef's choice for high-heat cooking, grilling, stir-frying, sautéing, or even deep frying. And Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil is great for baking too, because its delicate taste does not overwhelm the flavor of cakes, cookies, and other favorite recipes. A key traditional ingredient of the Mediterranean, grapeseed oil is a rich source of vitamin E antioxidant and naturally gluten-free. Buy imported Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil today and find great recipes at Pompeian.com.
Wait, don't let this happen to you. At Jan Fence, we're family owned and operated for over 50 years, providing a wide choice of fencing. Why wait online at the big box store? Just call Jan Fence. Ask about our Easy Fence to Go products by Active Yards, the first truly do-it-yourself fence product.
At Jan Fence, we always do what we say. Come see us today.
Step into an extraordinary world that will excite your senses. Experience our delectable Mughlai cuisine and the magic of tandoori savoir-faire. Let our international award-winning team delight you with a taste of heaven. Enjoy our mouth-watering flavors and our unique flair for excellence. Savor the elegance of fine dining and catering. Shazam Restaurant. Indulge your taste buds.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I'm Charlene Chamberlain, and I'm with our guest, singer-songwriter Lee Whitaker, whose latest album, or CD, shall I say, Alabaster Jar, has 2 singles on here that have both reached #1 on the gospel charts.
Yes.
And Lee just played 2 phenomenal songs for us. They were very inspiring, and
Thank
I
you.
especially latched on to the line in the first song. It was either the first or the second song. The one verse that said, "I hope I'm next in line."
Oh, yeah, Lord, I need a miracle.
Yeah.
I hope I'm next in line.
Yeah.
We all
That really resonated with me, and I'm probably millions of other people that have listened to the song as well.
Yes.
great, inspiring tunes.
Oh,
really inspiring.
Thank you.
I wanted to talk to you about Prepare the Way, that single. I know you mentioned to me that the Philly Pops Gospel Choir may be performing behind you or with you.
Well, we're talking right now, and I think we're going to be able to record that sometime this summer. That was a song that I had recorded probably a couple decades ago. It did well in Europe. It got a lot of airplay over there on a compilation album. And I've always wanted to do it in kind of a gospel style, though, not a country, more of a gospel style.
Yeah.
And I play it a lot at Christmas time. A lot of churches are singing it and playing it, and they like it. So I was looking for a gospel choir, and I went over to the Philly Pops, and I heard the St. Thomas Gospel Choir. Fantastic.
Amazing.
Talked to the director, and I think we're going to be able to do that.
Wow.
Along with Capathia Jenkins, who was a
And you
great...
worked with her in the past.
I've worked with her in the past. She actually sang a number of Whitaker Scott, my songwriting partner from years ago. A lot of our songs that we put out, she put her vocals on there, and Prepare the Way too. So she again is going to put some vocals on Prepare the Way
great.
In that great black gospel
Oh,
style.
I love that
you know.
soul voice coming in.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm looking forward to the summer when we do that. Yes.
I'm always interested in the creative process. Do you go into a special room or a zone, or do you have a special ritual that you do, or something you use to help you get into that creative mode?
Actually, no.
No. Oh boy.
No. There's two different ways that I
that you work.
That I work.
Right.
One is I will hear a line on the television, on the radio. Someone's talking to me. I'll be reading a book, whatever. And when I get that line, God automatically gives me a melody with that line. It just comes out of my mouth. And if I'm out of the house, I call home. And I'm praying that my wife doesn't answer. And if she answers, I say, I've got a song. Please hang up. And then sometimes she says, you've got 10 songs on here you haven't taken off. And it's clogging up.
Really?
I said, oh, I'm serious. There's 5 on there now. And she says, all right, I'll hang up, but get them off the phone. So I call back and I sing.
And you just sing it.
Well, I actually sing the line,
the whole thing.
that and it's not a whole song because that takes me a lot of work. I do a lot of research on the songs, and sometimes it will take me 2 or 3 weeks or a month or two, writing hours and hours and rewrites to get it exactly where I want it.
Yeah, I have a similar process too, and sometimes I'll even wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning with a message to go write this down. So I get up in the middle of the night and go to my office and I have to write it down. And then as far as the musicality part of it, I'll work on something and I'll think I have it, and then I'll let it sit for 2 or 3 weeks, and then it'll evolve. I'm sure you go through that too.
Oh.
It's never finished the first time through,
No, and if people say they finished a song like that,
it's rare.
It takes.
It's rare.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's not a good song.
Oh. Well, I'm sure there are a few out there that were written in 5 seconds. But
yes, but a lot of songwriters, it's just
to
writing a
live with
book
it. You
or
have to
a
live
play or
with it.
anything else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it may just be that one word you change a month later, but that one word changes the dynamic of that line or that phrasing.
Exactly.
There is sort of a process to it. It is a miracle that the music, and the words and the lyrics are given to you, but you still have to put it together.
Oh,
You still have
yes,
to work
but
on
that first line. So I have, Charlene, maybe 50, 60 cassette tapes with 100 songs on each. I mean, little kernels of
ideas.
Little seeds. So I never sit and say, what am I going to write? Because I've got so much
to pull from. Back into.
Yeah.
See, I do that too, but I have a little tiny USB recorder that I keep next to the piano.
That's
so
a
I
great
just
idea.
turn that on and turn it off, and if I want to check it later, I plug it into the computer, and then I can go through and listen to it. I'll hook you up.
Okay. All right.
It's a lot easier than calling home and leaving a message on your answering
Well,
machine.
I bought a digital recorder years ago for that purpose, and I've never used it because I'm so used to we're creatures of habit.
I know.
But the other way is, someone will say, my sister will say, would you write, actually that song, Lord, I Need a Miracle, a minister a number of years ago, because that was on another album, my country album.
Right.
And he said, I'm preaching on miracles. Could you find something?
Find something.
Yes, could you find something? And I knew
on all your 100 cassettes.
Right. Well, could you find somebody else's song? Was what he meant.
Oh, not one of yours.
And I thought to myself, no, I'm going to write something. I'm not going to find something.
Right.
I did spend 5 minutes looking to see if there was anything out there. And I then did a lot of research on miracles in the Bible, and that's how that came up. And then last year, the music director at my church, Sue Crispin, said to me, would you like to do a solo in church? I play at the Pitman United Methodist Church on Sundays. Mm-hmm. Would you like to sing like 2 or 3 weeks from now? And I said, sure. What's the Bible verse? She gave me the Bible verse. She gave me the sermon. And I opened the Bible up, and I thought, oh, wow, this would make a fantastic song. Mm-hmm. So that's finished, and that will be on the next album. So the 2 different ways when I'm required to do something.
That's kind of hard, right on spec. Yeah, but there is a purpose and there is a reason that you were asked to do it. So you know you're probably going to get the song.
Yeah, and my sister became a minister a few years ago later in life. And when she started preaching, she would ask me all the time, I'm preaching on this particular thing. I'm preaching on the alabaster jar. Would you write something? Right. And that's on the radio right now, the alabaster jar. That's so this is how it works, basically.
Well, I know, Lee, I'm going to ask you to do another song for us to wrap up the show. But first, I would love for you to tell our viewers where they can find out about you. Do you have a website where they can buy your music and where they can hear you perform?
Well, okay. All right.
Right out there. Tell me.
All right. Well, this is very important to me because it's a music ministry, but without some income coming in, it really helps to have. So my CDs you can find on Amazon under Lee Whitaker, Alabaster Jar, or iTunes or CD Baby. I think I'm on Spotify. All those outlets. So if you would like to hear more of those songs or buy a single, purchase a single, that would be fantastic, and it would help out the music ministry. As far as finding more about me, leewhitaker.com. That's 1T, WHITAKER. Facebook is Lee Whitaker Music. Twitter is at Whitaker_Lee. Great. And Lee Whitaker Music on Instagram. So you can check me out on all those.
Everywhere.
Yes, everywhere. Okay. And I need more likes on my Facebook page.
Okay. Make sure you go to his Facebook page and like him and buy some music. It's all for a great cause.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and Lee's going to end the show with another song for us. So we'll be right back.
Here, we have an attractive orange and a distinguished apple. The two similar, but opposites. Theory, a wingman is needed. Or perhaps a wing lemon. A friend to the orange and an acquaintance to the apple, the lemon brings the two opposites together. See, with a little fresh thinking, the universe can be surprisingly smooth.
When we make Beyond Natural dry dog and cat foods, we start with real meat as the first ingredient. We leave out corn, wheat, and soy. And we own where our dry food is made. 100%. Can other brands say all that? For nutrition you can trust and your pet will enjoy. Does your food go beyond? Learn more at purinabeyond.com.
Fitzpatrick's. Deli Dine for breakfast and lunch. And at night, Gourmet Dine for dinner with entrees and specialty sandwiches including certified black Angus cuts of beef and wild-caught seafood, plus catering. Your hometown place with upscale tastes.
Apple Ridge is about freedom. Apple Ridge is about community. Apple Ridge, everything you want, more than you expect. Welcome to your new neighborhood. Apple Ridge Senior Living. Enjoy a maintenance-free, affordable luxury lifestyle today. Visit appleridgeseniorliving.com and find out more about the Apple Ridge experience.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Hi again, it's Lee Whitaker here. I'd like to play a song for you that's on the Alabaster Jar album, and it's going to be released in a few weeks on March the 12th, so you can listen out for that. It's called Planet by the Water, Planted by the Water. Planted by the water, your leaves are always green. The roots that you send out are nourished by the stream. You don't have to worry when the season is dry. When you're planted by the water, God will supply. Immerse yourself in the Word of God. Pray every day, your faith will grow. Commune with those who love Jesus. Spirit flow. Planted by the water, the leaves are always green. The roots that you send out are nourished by the stream. You don't have to worry when the season is dry. When you're planted by the water, God will supply. Stay close to God, your source of life. In all things put in first your relationship with Jesus will bear the fruit of your new birth. Planted by the water, your leaves are always green. The roots that you send out are nourished by the stream. The season is dry. Planted by the water, God will supply. On the banks of the river, a long time ago, a large crowd gathered, and Jesus fed their soul. Your leaves are always green. That fruit that you send out are nourished by the stream. You don't have to worry when the season is dry. Planted by the water, God will supply. God will supply. Thank you very much. You can find those songs on the Alabaster